Hey there, fight fans. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe this episode of Combat Sports Talk. Welcome to Combat Sports Talk, a podcast dedicated to UFC and Bellator discussion, the MMA community, and combat sports in general. I'm your host, Ryan Smith, and joining me this week is the man with the keys to victory, John Keys.
Hello, combat sports world. How y'all doing tonight?
Pretty good. Now, look, before we go any further, you don't have to put your microphone up by your glasses.
I do. Okay. All right. So I know for the past piece of shit. Okay. It's not even about that. Because, see, I had this thing that, when I'm here, I get a lot of complaints about people saying that I sound like Darth Vader.
Okay.
And, I bring it up. I bring it up like this because it gets it right off my nose and my mouth. And y'all still get the sweet sounds of Keys to Victory.
Okay. All right. We will do it.
Did you know?
Here we go.
That today is a very important day in the culture of the world.
I did not know that. What happened?
Today marks something that is so significant to our culture that it has brought people together. It has made divisive arguments. It has become such an integral phenomenon in the history of our planet that it cannot be denied. It is as integral to the DNA of our imagination as just about anything that it was just so significant to our ideology of our minds, or how we expand our imagination. Do you know what today is?
Monday night.
Today is besides Monday night,
2 days after the start of the stream. Okay, here we go.
45 years ago today was the start of the first day of filming of Star Wars Episode 4. Today.
Man, now,
what?
Wait.
What?
You had all this lead up, and today, 45 years ago, is just the start of filming of Star Wars?
Yes,
that's our keys to victory trivia thing. That's it? Of all the things you had, this is what you chose?
Said today. Yes. Do you know how important Star Wars is to us? Okay. Do you not know that Star Wars is as integral in our pop culture DNA? It is important to it. It is as important as to sci-fi as John Carter is to comic books. Okay. And go ahead and ask the question. I know you're about to ask it.
No, you don't know what I'm about to ask, because I'm gonna ask. So, day 2 tomorrow is day 2 of filming. We're gonna celebrate that too. We're gonna go all the way up through the last week of May when it finally released 45 years ago. It wasn't even 45 years ago. It wasn't even 45 years ago, because it was released in 1977.
So it was 77, 87, 90, 50.
That would be 44 years ago.
44 years ago. Excuse me, people. I'm sorry. Math was not my subject. I'm IT, not mathematics.
All that lead up, and you got to wait till next year.
All right, I'll see you on 365 or 364 on wake up. All right. But seriously though, Star Wars is as integral to us. It is important to us. It invigorated a generation. Okay, it has brought together. It is just important. I could go on little days or hours talking about this subject.
I thought you were going to talk about Star Trek. Actually, I thought that's what you were.
Star Trek is the most significant. It was the one that built the house, but Star Wars is the one that's paying rent. Okay, Star Wars is very, very if it wasn't, it's like corn tortilla, flour tortilla. Okay, some people started with Star Trek, some people started with Star Wars. Once you've had one, you really don't mess with the other. I'm one of the few that actually don't have no preference. They were both very, very important to me.
So it's kind of like Mac and PC.
Yes. Very few people actually enjoy both of them.
It's true.
But you'll find masters in either one.
Okay. All right. Now, let's get into it. There was a fight on Saturday night.
There
were several fights. There were people who were separated from their consciousness on Saturday night.
Very much so. There was a fight after a fight. You know,
there was, and we're going to talk about it here in the official decision. This is the official decision. This is where we discuss the fights from Saturday night. It was UFC Vegas 22, Brunson versus Holland, Saturday, March 20th, 2021, in the Apex Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. There were 5 fights on the card. The first fight of the night was Tai Tuivasa versus Harry Hunsucker. Tai Tuivasa dispatched Harry Hunsucker via TKO in round number 1. It was a pretty quick fight. Now, Hunsucker's got a little bit of speed, but it didn't matter because, you know, Tai Tuivasa got in there, landed those big blows, ground and pounded him out, and it was quick.
Tai Tuivasa does not play. I don't know why there isn't a number. Is there a number is he ranked yet? I mean,
I don't
if he
know.
ain't, he should be. He should be by now. Okay. Well, I think we'll find out in the morning because I don't think they put out any rankings yet. Last time I checked. So yeah, he needs to be at. I would give him a 15 by his name, a 15 or a 14.
I think So I'm currently on rankingmma.com UFC rankings for heavyweights. They have him ranked at number 16. The UFC rankings on the website for heavyweights. Of course, we go. They don't have Tai Tuivasa in the top 15 right now. So 16 may be an accurate number beside Tuivasa's name.
Yeah. Needs to happen.
Yeah. So after a Tai Tuivasa fight, and this is one where it's fun to talk about him because after he wins a fight, he has a tradition. Do you know what the tradition is? You want to explain to the audience what the tradition is?
Yes, the tradition is an Aussie shoey. Okay, and basically what it is that they grab a random shoe from the fans
off someone's foot.
Off someone's foot. Now, it's not a shoe from the box. It is a shoe from the foot. They pour a beer in there and they start drinking from it. And your boy did it. He did get it, and I think it was from like a cameraman. I think that he got it from.
So I read that he did it from a sandal, which is weird. And then
it wasn't a sandal.
No. I read that he did it from a sandal, and then post fight in his interview with Megan O'Leary, one of the cameramen or one of the backstage guys gave him a shoe, and he did a proper shoey on set with Megan O'Leary.
So he did 2 of them?
Dude, sometimes he does. He walks down the aisle doing shoeys sometimes when he wins. So, yeah, you know, the thing that I'm trying to get over is how can you do that? Like, that seems unhygienic.
Yo, man, beer cures all, man. Ask Chuck Norris, okay? Beer cures all. I'm with that. I'm so with that. Thank you, Chuck Norris, for Lone Wolf McQuaid and showing us that even though they buried your Bronco, your supercharged Bronco in the dirt underneath, that you were able to pop a Lone Star beer and get up out of there and still shoot up 6 people. That's what
all right.
After
Listen to
he
this.
got shot in the stomach. Okay.
So I did a search. Are shoeys safe? And according to abc.net.au. So this is an Australian site. It says, I guess it's ABC is the Australian broadcasting company, as opposed to the American broadcasting company of the same name. So if you do a shoey, it can lead to septic anemia, pneumonia, food poisoning, vomiting, nausea, and diarrhea.
Okay, so have you seen some of the creatures that come out of Australia and New Zealand?
Yes.
Okay,
yes, I have.
Septic is like the least of my worries at that point. Okay, I think they'd be happy with septic as compared to that flying fox that looks like a bat hanging outside your window.
Wait, you are going to go with the flying fox that hangs out your window, which is probably not deadly, as opposed to like the fierce spider, the red black spider, like the different snakes, the box jellyfish. Like, there's so many bad things in Australia. You gonna go with the flying fox? What?
Yeah. For the simple reason is because I'm aware of the Mothman prophecies, and the first time I saw that, I really freaked out a little bit because I was like, "Whoa!" and because it reminds me of the Mothman prophecy. And I'm good with that. Snakes, spiders. There's a flamethrower for that. I got a flamethrower for that. Okay, we can burn some things.
You working with Elon Musk? You got one of his flamethrowers?
Man, okay, and don't get me started with Elon Musk. He worth how much money, and he ain't built his own power armor yet. He ain't like Iron Man yet. Dude's lazy. Okay, dude's lazy as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Let's continue. Adrian Yanez defeated Gustavo Lopez via TKO in round number 3. That was a straight right, put him down.
Yeah, I don't know why they call that TKO. It was like, here, hit this, and he hit it, and he went to the ground. I don't know why they call that a TKO. That should have been a straight KO.
Yeah,
with a guy in a hoo-hoo, in the background. Yeah, exactly, because he was crisp.
Yep. Montserrat Ruiz defeated Cheyenne Buys via unanimous decision. Now, this one got a little bit heated, didn't it?
It got a lot of bit heated. Okay, so let's put a little bit background on this. All right, first of all, this is the wife of a husband and wife duo that actually fought that night, and the husband lost, so it was kind of a little pressure on the wife. They go out there, and it was. In wrestling, they call it the scarf hold. You can also call it the bully headlock. Regardless, they showed the promo of Montserrat doing this move and putting the girl in an arm lock and really like cranking it hard and making her submit. So what happened in round 1? Montserrat, we'll call her Conejo, Rabbit, grabbed her in the bully headlock, took it to the ground, and pretty much that was the entire fight. And at the end, I don't know if she spit on her, but she leaned in like she hawked a good loogie on her, and the fight was on. She jumped, Baze jumped up and was ready to fight. Told her she would follow her home, and it was a trip. I was like, you had all that energy there, and it was there at the end.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All I can say is don't follow her home because you're gonna be in the middle of the driveway in that same move, okay? And to the cops go.
Right.
That ain't gonna work.
It was funny because they were talking about it. I watched the post fight, and they were like, Ruiz does that move like every fight. She does that move. You should train for that move to avoid getting in that move because she's going to do it. I think a very famous person once said, "That's what I do. That's what I do. I put people in this headlock."
Now hold on, I'll tell you something better. Okay, so for that fight, this was not the original fight. She was supposed to fight a teammate of Cheyenne Baze. I forgot her name, but Cheyenne Baze subbed for her. Guess what Cheyenne Baze was doing for the training? She was actually mimicking Conejo.
That's right.
And I'm like, how do you mimic her and then don't know her technique? Okay, don't know how to get out of her own technique. That makes no sense.
That makes no sense whatsoever. But anyway, in the co-main event of the evening, Max Payne Griffin defeated Song Kenan via knockout at 220 in round number 1. Now, this one was one of those, he one punch hit or quitter and it was over. He hit him, dude fell, he walked away. He was like, I don't really need to get into this.
Like, yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
he don't want no more. Okay, trust me, he don't want no more. He don't even know where he's at. You know,
so it's going to be interesting to see where Max Payne goes next. Like it's one of those things where Max Griffin is one of those kind of guys that I think has a good run under his belt. Not ready to blow the horn yet, or toot the whistle, get on the hype train, but I'm definitely keeping my eyes on Max Griffin.
Absolutely. I seen that. If he keeps delivering performances like that, he it's not going to be for too long. He'll be in the top 5 very, very shortly.
Absolutely. And speaking of people in the top 5 or in the top 10, the main event of the evening, Derek Brunson defeated Kevin Holland via unanimous decision.
There's a lot to unpack in this fight. You do know.
Yes, there is. 100%. We got it. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's unpack it.
All right. So where you want to start?
I can tell you exactly where I want to start. I want to start here. 0 people on the show, not even Lepidolite in the audience, chose Derek Brunson to win this fight. Nobody had Derek Brunson. The only person who had Derek Brunson was him, and he was a bit doubtful.
Yeah, and I we deserve every bit of that crow. Yeah. You know how I like it: extra onions, extra pickles, a little bit of mayo on top, just because it's a dry bird. Yeah, about that. Where did it go wrong? Okay, where can we start on where it went wrong? When Big Mouth showed up. Okay,
Big Mouth showed up. So let's level set. Kevin Holland is a phenomenal fighter. He reminds you of an Israel Adesanya. They're in the same weight class, which would have made for a very interesting and may in the future make for a very interesting matchup if he can make it that far. He's got that long, skinny body, kind of like John Jones before he went to heavyweight.
Yeah.
And he was surging up the ladder with 5 fights in 2020.
Yeah.
So this was really that fight that was going to be that defining fight that staked his claim for a title shot.
So until he met, Derek Brunson,
right?
The man who came in with a bit of a chip on the shoulder because he felt like that he was a gatekeeper, that he was given the task of being a gatekeeper. That people
and let's face it, he was.
Yeah. And until that night, because he came in focused and ready to fight, Kevin Holland came in there ready to clown. And it just, it reminds me of a Nate Diaz gone wrong. Okay? Of a Diaz
explain
brother,
that. Explain that.
Okay, Diaz brothers are notorious for their trash talking. I mean, they're notorious for their trash talking. They go into these fights, they will talk trash to you all the way while beating the brakes off of you. Okay? But every now and then they get to a certain level and they stall. And I think that's what happened Saturday night, is that he stalled. He met a fighter that, when they meet fighters that are focused, that are laser sharp focused on their game plan, and they go in there and they start executing, they'll still continue to talk trash, but they're not winning that fight. And that's exactly what happened. Brunson came in there with a laser focus that you really don't see. And he stalled. Holland stalled on the fight, and it was bad because he was the guy that not only was he getting his butt kicked, but he was talking trash as he was getting his butt kicked. And I'm like, you really can't do that. You really can't. It got but the part that really irritated me, okay, and I don't know, do you want to? I'll let you lead into that because there's I'm sure you're going to talk about it, so I'll just stop right there and let you continue on.
So for me, it was one of those things where Kevin Holland has gotten away with being the trash talker because even though he lost to Thiago Santos, people gave him the benefit of the doubt because he was fighting up at light heavyweight. That's what he was really doing. And so, it's like when you're fighting at light heavyweight against a fighter, short turnaround, late fight replacement, you're not expected to win. You're only expected to perform well. And so that's what happened with Kevin Holland is that he's gotten into this habit of talking smack and just winning fights, knocking people out. Even if he faces a little bit of adversity like he did in the Jacare Souza fight, he still talks some smack and he still finished the fight. And I think that he is a victim of his own success where, he's got this bravado, he's got this confidence, and perhaps it's hubris at this point. And so he doesn't really, maybe now I'll be the first to admit it. I've never seen him train. Not associated with their gym. I don't see what's going on. But in seeing him on Saturday night, I imagined that he is a guy, or that he was a guy in his training camp that perhaps took it a little bit more lighthearted, that didn't really focus. That when it came time to do the wrestling training and things like that, if he got caught, it was no big deal because his thinking was that he was going to finish Derek Brunson the way Izzy finished Derek Brunson, that he had done that to everybody else so far. So why wouldn't I knock him out? And even though he got tripped and slipped on the first round and ended up losing on that round on his back, he felt like that was a 5-round fight. I can give away that round. It's not a big deal. He kept playing around. He even rocked Derek Brunson. And so it was like, that's what I got to do. I just got to look for this knockdown again. And it just never got serious enough for him to change. And I think that what ended up happening is he gets to the 5th round and now he's got to get a finish if he's going to win this fight. And there was no way that he was going to get a finish against a veteran like Derek Brunson. But tell me, what is it that annoyed you? And I'll let you know if that's the same thing that bothered me.
The fact that his coaches, well, 2 parts. His coaches couldn't rein him in to be serious until like the 5th round. And 2, that he was looking at Khabib, who was beyond his coaches, asking for advice. That's what irritated me more, because that's a disrespect to your coaches. Okay, your coaches are there in your corner. Don't ask a guy that's further out into the crowd, hey man, what do I got to do here? What do I have to do? Because that makes that disrespects your coaches. That disrespects the time that they put into you. And that ultimately should disrespect you because you were the one that trusted your coaches to be there in your corner. Okay, I have a big problem with that. That makes it seem like, that gives me the impression that you are truly uncoachable at that point.
Yeah, and this is the conversation that I have to shout out Johnny Hearns, and you got to see the back and forth between us, because that's really what I started coming to the same conclusion, is that when we were watching Kevin Holland in the corner, he wasn't listening to advice. He wasn't getting any coaching because he was too busy yelling at Dana and Khabib. He was too busy talking smack to Derek Brunson. He was all focused on everything else other than sitting down on the stool, recovering, and getting the sound coaching advice that a professional like Travis Lutter can provide. The fact is that it was crazy to hear Michael Bisping on the commentation, doing the commentary, saying what Kevin Holland needs to do, and then hearing the coaches tell him the exact same thing between rounds, and he never listened to their advice. And so it becomes one of those things where I think you're right. Is he uncoachable? Is he a person that has too much hubris, too much pride to be able to humble himself down and listen to the direction of the coaches and see what happens? Will he self-destruct before he gets to that level of competition where you can make a shot at people like Izzy and Paulo Costa and those guys?
I don't know, but I will say this much: Habib did give him a piece of advice. Okay, and it was very interesting because what Habib was telling him was later on in the post conference, Derek Brunson was saying exactly what he was going for. Habib told him to control your hips. Okay, you control your hips, you will stop those takedowns. And Derek Brunson in the post interview, he was telling them that dude was presenting his hips way too much, and so as long as they're out there, I'm gonna get it. And that's exactly what he did. So and actually, if there's a video out there on YouTube that has all the interactions between um, between Habib and
Kevin Holland.
Holland. Yeah, sorry. And I have to say that people in life, if learn many things, but let this be one of the most important things you learn: the difference between laughing with you and laughing at you.
All right,
Okay.
let me have it. Let me have it.
The difference between laughing with you is if you make a joke and everybody gets it and everybody laughs with you. But laughing at you is when you make the joke and everybody laughs at you because you are the joke. And Habib was laughing at Holland, not with Holland. Okay, it got so bad that Dana was like, I can't watch anymore. And you can see him getting up and going back. And that's exactly what it was. Habib was laughing at Kevin Holland because he's like, this dude is crazy. And it was not a crazy like, haha, this guy's crazy. It was like, haha, you're being a fool.
Yeah,
And
because
Kevin
of
Holland,
course,
unfortunately,
Kevin Holland in that moment was no better than Conor McGregor in that point.
Yeah.
The sheer lack of control, the sheer bravado, and all of the veneer of being this really guy that has everything in control, and it's clearly he's losing every single round. And
Yes.
I can't imagine that Habib was looking at Derek Brunson and going, this is elite wrestling that I'm seeing on display. No, it was simple, elementary type things that Derek Brunson was doing, and he was able to get Kevin Holland on the ground. He was able to get and control Kevin Holland. It was great. I was talking to Johnny who trains Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he's like, if you look at the techniques that Kevin Holland is using, it's not a way of getting up off the ground. It's not a technique of success. And so when you look at a person who's supposed to be a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt who needs to be standing up and get this fight back where it can be in control, I can't imagine that Travis Lutter and that team did not train for positions of getting taken down and how to get back up. I can't imagine that Travis Lutter would look at how Kevin Holland was putting Derek Brunson in a figure 4 body lock and not tell him you need to open your guard so you can get up. I can't imagine that Travis Lutter and that team did not tell Kevin Holland to shut up and fight. They had to have. That is basic stuff that any of us would have done. And the fact that he kept on talking all the way through, and then when he finally got the takedown on Derek Brunson, he celebrated like he had won a championship fight.
Yeah.
And that was it for me. I was like, you know what? I'm out of respect for him, I am not going to get off the hype train. I'm still on the hype train. I'm going to back the hometown hero. But this was the most disappointing fight I have seen in a long time. There's so much wasted potential that I just couldn't stand watching it anymore. I was with Dana White. I was ready to walk away.
I'll agree to you to a degree. I'll agree with you to a degree. It was probably the most disappointing fight I've seen since Romero and Adesanya. I'll say it like that. And I was severely disappointed in that fight because I knew the potential with both fighters. Hopefully today that Travis Lutter had sat, and the team actually sat down with Holland and asked him, "Are you ready to fight now?" Okay, because if not, I don't see any point of him continuing on the fight game if you're not going to be, if you're not going to, you could talk your trash in the ring, but at the end of the round, listen to your coaches. All right, remember, you're there to win. Okay, you're there to win. You said it yourself. You said it yourself, Holland. Talking trash is fun, but talking trash and winning is such a good feeling. You said that today, okay? Learn that lesson, okay? Listen to your coaches.
He's not, though. Why? Why do I say he's not going to learn? He's not. Because what is he going to do? What is he going to do? What did he say he was going to do? Not, I'm going to get back on my winning streak and go after Israel Adesanya in the middleweight championship. No, I'm going to get a nutritionist, and even though I am right size for 185, I'm going to lose weight and get down to 170 to fight smaller guys. And he's trying to call out Bilal Muhammad for a fight at 170.
He don't want that. He don't want that.
But my point is this. What kind of guy gets beat in first fight, lost in like 5 or 6 fights, and then decides I'm going to cut down to welterweight? Why? What does that say about you at middleweight? That you can't hack it? Is that what it is? You fight one guy and lose, and now because Derek Brunson took you down and controlled you and beat you up, you're not fit for 185?
Well,
don't talk smack then.
Yeah. I mean, it's what the true sign of a champion is not what he does after he wins. It's what he does after he loses. Okay, and we'll leave it at that. So
here's some other things. Dana White said Kevin Holland had a mental breakdown. I don't think it was the kind of mental breakdown that we think of, that like a clinical mental breakdown. I think it is one of those things where he got himself painted in a corner. He had talked so much smack, not only before the fight, but during the fight, that when he realized that there was nothing he could do to stop these takedowns, it was just one of those things where all strategy, all plans went out the window, and he was just trying to survive for those 5 rounds. I think that's the kind of mental breakdown that Dana White is talking about.
I agree. I remember back in my fighting games days, there was this kid that I was playing against in Tekken, and this kid beat me so brilliantly in Tekken that I literally stopped playing the game and started coaching him on how to beat me. That's how bad I got beat, and I think that's exactly what happened to Holland in the middle of the fight. That he got so frustrated and knew that he got beat so soundly that he just gave up. All right, and that's not a good thing. If you can break like that, I mean, it's one thing to know that you've been defeated, but to go out like that, man, come on, do better. Do better.
Yeah.
Please.
So and that's the thing that was disappointing, because I know that people be like, you're saying this fighter gave up. There are lots of ways that you can see that a fighter has lost his confidence. And one of the ways that you can see that he lost his confidence is between the rounds. Because when he's going from round 4 to round 5, his coaches are finally able to say something to him because he's not yelling at Khabib Nurmagomedov. And what he's saying in response to his coaches is, I know. Other fighters are like, yes, sir. They're sitting down. They're focused. They're looking their coaches in the eye. He is standing up with his head down, and he's just yelling, yes, I know. I know I should be doing this. Yes, you're right. I know.
Makes you question if he's coachable.
That is the question that I think should be on everyone's lips right now. Is Kevin Holland coachable? Can he rebound from this and be able to take one of these tough fights, face adversity, and emerge on top? Because frankly, the most adversity that we've seen from him is a fight where he wasn't expected to win. And it was like, if you lose a fight that you're not expected to win, no one's going to ding you for it. But he was the favorite coming into this fight. He was the one riding the 5-fight win streak or whatever it was. He's the one that had talked so much smack and had finished so many people. And if you can't win from that position, then the pressure may be too much. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. All right.
Lord.
So there you go. Let's go ahead and close the book on this one. Put it on the shelf. This card is history. Now let's get into the headlines that are making waves in the UFC world with Finding the Angles. The Angles. This is where we look at the headlines that are making waves in the UFC world. I want to start off with the headliner. We're going to do it quick, real short, but we got to do it because it's the number one topic I want to talk about today. That is the headline. All right. So we saw Khabib Nurmagomedov at UFC Vegas 22, sitting next to Dana White. It had just been announced that Khabib Nurmagomedov was retired. Now, dude retired 6 months ago, but the UFC is like the Hotel California. You can check out, but you can't leave.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, but let's put it out there. You know how Uncle Dana is. You say you want to go. He's like, no, man, we can't quit you. Okay, we can't quit you, not today. And all I can say is, I mean, I kind of understand where Uncle Dana was coming from because guess what? Khabib hasn't pulled his name out the blood pool yet. He still hasn't pulled his name out of the testing registry. So until he officially does that, you know, because even Henry Cejudo has pulled his name out of the blood pool. So, you know, what's stopping Khabib? If he had pulled it out at, you know, the moment he said I retire, then we got something to talk about. There's nothing left to talk about. He's really retired, you know. So I don't know. Until I hear that name, he officially pulls his name out of the registry. You're still in the UFC, sir.
Okay, I thought he had pulled his name out of the testing pool, but no, I think we need to validate that. I thought he had.
Hold on,
I thought he had pulled his name.
I know
out
Henry
of the
Henry Cejudo pulled his name out. Within the last 2 weeks, Henry Cejudo did that.
Right. So it was interesting because, you know, Dana White announced it, saying that, you know, that Khabib Nurmagomedov was officially retired. 29-0 it is basically what he said. You know, it was interesting because they talked to Khabib Nurmagomedov after Vegas 22, and it was funny because they asked him if he had ever thought about coming back, and Khabib says no, but Dana called this official, and he says, but I retired like 5 or 6 months ago. He goes, it's funny, you know, that the fans were like telling Dana White that even though you are declaring Khabib Nurmagomedov retired, we all know that he retired and told you. Whether or not you accepted it, whether it took you half a year to accept the departure of Khabib Nurmagomedov is with you. The fact is that we all knew he was retired and he wasn't coming back. And now that it's official, we have a lightweight championship vacant title matchup coming up, UFC 262.
Yes.
Charles Do Bronx Oliveira versus Michael Chandler.
What is that? Okay.
What do you mean, what is that?
Should have been Dustin Poirier, but we'll
yes, it should have been Charles Oliveira and Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier was like, you know what? I'm not super interested really in fighting anyone right now. Y'all go get the belt. I'll come get it when I'm ready. He's like, I'm going to go sell hot sauce.
And if you haven't bought it, people, go get you some. All right?
You have some?
For a good cause. I'm still trying to get some. It's still sold out. Okay? You know, I'm not trying to get the bootleg stuff. I don't want that stepped on hot sauce. Dustin, if you're hearing us, hot sauce, I will put it right here if you give us some, Dustin. I will put it right here.
There it is. Make it happen, Dustin. Look, we'll drive to Lafayette. Let's drive to Lafayette and go get some.
I'm down. Hey, I'm down, and I'll make an adventure. Okay, so
yeah,
there it is.
I don't know because I know you will make an adventure, and that's why I don't think I will go with you. I will drive about 2 car lengths behind you.
Come on, man. Ride in the
Mm-mm.
truck, dude. It'll be
No, I'm
fun.
not.
It'll be fun.
I'm not riding
Hey,
in your chariot,
hey,
man.
hey, man. Lariat the chariot will make it, dude. Okay, we can go. Okay, I'm telling you. And
So
just to answer your question, hold on before
yeah.
you go. Habib is still in the blood pool, and he has a reasoning to it, to why he's still there, because they told him after his last fight in October that USADA came to him and said that they will still test him for the next 6 months. Okay, so that was October, November, December, January, February, March, April. If by the end of April he hasn't pulled himself out of the blood pool, I'm going to call shenanigans on his statement saying that he's retired.
Wait. So is this going to be the new DC John Jones feud?
No. And so you did it. Oh.
I'm the one who called it. There you go. Take a drink if you're playing the drinking game. When we reference the John Jones DC feud, that is a drink.
Yes,
so I just need to know when I need to cue the conspiracy music. So, you know.
Hold on. Make a note here. It will be on April. Well, let's see here. May 3rd. May 3rd. If he hasn't pulled his name out by May 3rd, go ahead and kick my music, dog, because he's still in it. Yes, yeah. We need a remix to that. I wonder if they got I bet Bad Boy got a remix to it.
Bad Boy for life. So it's gonna happen. Oliveira versus Chandler are gonna take place at the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas, in our backyard. They are having a full fan event at the Toyota Center in UFC 262. Are you going to go to the super spreader event of the year?
Absolutely not. Okay, Florida under lockdown. I'm gonna be under lockdown again. Okay, so no, we're gonna pass on that. I got the ESPN Plus package. There's that. The way
I'm
that
gonna tell you. Yeah, I like watching it. I like watching it at home. I like watching it and having the commentary and all that kind of stuff. When you're sitting there in the arena, while it is nice to have the electricity going through you with all the fans reacting, at the end of the day, unless you have paid thousands of dollars for seats that are close to the ring, what are you doing? You're just watching it on TV. That's what you're doing. You're watching it on TV anyway, except this time you are there. And so, therefore, you got all these drunk, smelly people all around you, as opposed to being in the comfort of your own home, listening to commentary by color commentators who know what's going on. No, you got to listen to some dude who's half drunk telling you that Conor McGregor is going to beat Stipe Miocic. That's the experience. And so I know that there are people out there who want that experience. And trust me, right? Hoop dreams of Combat Sports Talk is eventually that we will go to International Fight Week and go to the fight. But that will be the only fight I would go to, because at the end of the day, I really do enjoy watching it here at home, getting the commentary, being able to order my food and sit here and have that experience. So let it happen in Houston.
Yeah, UFC, y'all done messed up, because what y'all did, y'all got us comfortable in our own home where we got our air fryers going now and getting our chicken wings going, and we got an empty arena where we can actually hear the fighters fight. We can hear the commentators. We can hear the coaches and the corners talk. Y'all done messed up. I don't ever want to see nobody. No more than 10 extra people in that arena when the fight's going on. I'm sorry. I need to hear it. Okay, I need to hear them kicks. I need to hear that sick thud when it hits the back of that calf. Okay, I need to hear that now. Yeah, so y'all done messed up.
I wonder if the UFC is going to change the way that they orient their cameras and their microphones so that they can continue to give us that empty arena experience, even though they have fans in it. Like, I would definitely want like directional mics, hanging from the ceiling directing down into the octagon so we can hear the fighters talking. Have microphones in the corners of the with the coaches, so that you can hear the coaches giving their directions and things like that. Like I am going to miss that experience of being able to hear the action and hear the coaching going on in exchange for this random person going, woo!
Exactly.
Woo! Remember how that used to happen all the time?
Everyone, but and what happens? Wouldn't it be crazy that we actually start getting packed arenas again, and the viewership really starts going down and plummeting due to the fact that they can't hear the fighters anymore, and they can't hear the corner, they can't hear the ref or anything anymore, and so people start becoming disinterested in it? Wouldn't that be the craziest thing?
That would be the craziest thing. I don't think it's going to happen though. So don't look at me. I don't think that's going to happen. There are still lots of people who want to go and see it, and as long as you and me are here, we're going to be paying to watch it.
Yeah, we are going to pay to watch it.
I want to go back to UFC Vegas 22. I know I put that one on the shelf. We're going to peel that one off the shelf because there's a topic that I wanted to talk about. There was one of the fights that was canceled because of the fact that a fighter passed out twice on the scales at weigh-ins on Friday night. So her name was Julia Stoliarenko, and she's standing on. I watched the video. She's standing on the scale, and then you just see her start to wobble, and she steps off the scale, steps backwards, stumbles backwards, and then falls down. They had to take her out on a stretcher, and so this really goes to this notion again that weight cutting is bad for the human body. And to make it a competitive advantage in this sport is a dangerous thing that people struggle with, and they do tremendous damage to their bodies. We need to figure out a way to address the weight, weights in the UFC and in MMA in general.
There's only one true way of doing it, and that's if they weigh in the day of the fights. That's the only way that you can actually do it. And there's Lapedia, and to add on to that, not only she said that it wasn't that the fact that she dropped the weight, is that she stayed at target weight for so long, because she stayed on target for like 4 hours, and that was the factor. But that's not a good excuse. Okay, you should be at that weight and be okay at that weight for as long as it needs to be. So the only true way that we can do it, that can be done, is if they weigh in the day of the fight. That's it. That's the only safe way we can do it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I thought it was interesting because she's like, it wasn't the weight cut. No, if you pass out, it's the weight cut. The fact that you stayed on the weight for too long, it's the weight cut.
It wasn't the car wreck that messed up my leg. It was the fact that I was walking on it. Like, what? No, it was the car wreck. Okay, it was literally the car wreck.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. The reason why I thought this was an interesting one is because I got into it. I didn't get a response back. It was good for him that he didn't respond back with Sam Alvey, because he's sitting there looking at it going, oh, it was the mask. The fact that she was wearing a mask, and the mask is with the straw that broke the camel's back. No, we got billions of people for over a year wearing masks, and they ain't passing out everywhere. Yet we have seen years of people without masks walk up on that scale and then pass out. They pass out in the locker rooms. They pass out on the way to the octagon. Like, we know that the impact of weight cutting has this effect on people. So it was a dumb premise. And I said that to him. I was like, what happened to you? Who was the guy? Because I got to meet Sam Alvey in Ottawa. I was in Ottawa on business, and I was staying at the hotel that the UFC fighters were staying in, and I met Sam Alvey as he was checking into the hotel. And so I said, what happened to the smart guy that I met in Ottawa 5 years ago? No, This was some dumb stuff to say that homegirl passed out, not because of a tough weight cut, not because of the fact that she, quote, stayed at target weight too long. No, it was the face mask. That's it.
That was kind of brutal, dude. Okay, that was kind of brutal to say.
So anyway,
you hit him with a 2-piece and a biscuit with that. You do understand that, right? With a verbal 2-piece. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't understand, Ryan wakes up and chooses debate every morning, and he's relentless. He did this to us on Sunday morning. I'm sitting here minding my Z's, and all of a sudden my phone, I saw an article. I was like, oh, we could talk about this later in the day, like afternoon, 1 o'clock, when we normal human beings on Sunday get up, and then we like, oh, let's mill about the house. Oh, there's an article here. No, I put it out there, and I rolled over, and within 10 minutes, my phone just starts going off, as if I'm being alerted that the aliens have came. All right, and it's like, oh my God, go back to bed, man. Okay, it's not even 8 o'clock in the morning. Go back to bed. Nobody wakes up automatically ready to debate like Ryan does. So there's that.
It's true. It's true. Like the way I start my day, my morning regimen. I don't know what you do. Maybe you get up early in the morning. You read your positive affirmations of the day. Maybe you go out and work out. Go run 3 miles. Do something like that. No, for me, I wake up. I find somebody to pick a fight with, and I argue with them for about an hour. And by the time I'm done, they are demoralized, and I am ready for the day. So that's it. If you want to argue with somebody, if you want to have a debate, find me on Twitter, MMA Podcaster. You find me on Instagram, Combat Sports Talk. You can find me. I am ready and willing to argue about almost anything, especially UFC, especially MMA. Like, let's go. Find me. Find me. Find
and be prepared.
me.
Please be prepared for what happens next, okay? Because
right there,
he's
right
ready.
There. Come at my neck. Come at my neck, bro. Come at my neck.
He don't, be it In-N-Out Burger, be it Transformers, be it, it doesn't matter the topic. He's ready for you. He is ready for you.
Ready, okay? Freddie. Somebody who was ready and didn't actually get to perform is Justin Gaethje. He thought he was going to be the man to actually get that Michael Chandler title shot and fight for that belt. And then when it was announced, he was like, wait, so it's not me? Justin Gaethje was disappointed.
Bridesmaid, but never the bride, dude.
I don't understand why he thought he was going to be the dude. Like, your last fight was for the title. You lost.
Have you seen the punches that he's took into the head? Okay, he probably thought that came out on a Wednesday. Okay, that's what he probably thought.
Yeah,
man. Hey, I don't know, man.
Charles Oliveira is winning these fights. He hasn't fought for the title. We all agree that Charles Oliveira needs to have a title shot. Dustin Poirier just finished fighting Conor McGregor, probably the only person who deserves a title shot against Charles Oliveira. He doesn't want that fight. He's working on something else. He's doing his good fight foundation. Yeah. So fine, go do it. Who's left? Justin Gaethje, who just lost the title shot, or Michael Chandler, who's coming in with all this hype, finished the number 5 dude in minutes. Why not give it to him, right? So, it's one of the things. I didn't want to see Michael Chandler get into a title shot that fast. I would have preferred possibly Charles Oliveira and Justin Gaethje as a backup. But at the end of the day, Justin hasn't fought anybody but Khabib. So therefore, why would he be eligible for a title shot? That doesn't make any sense. So I'll accept Michael Chandler and Charles Oliveira. I'll accept that. And then Justin Gaethje, if you want to have a crack at that, fight somebody else and then fight for the title. You should beat anybody else. Leon Edwards is 170. Sorry.
Yeah, he's multiple.
My bad. I'm trying to get Leon Edwards a fight. Dadgummit.
Yeah, he'll fight. Yeah, he may fight anybody. Okay. Justin's best bet is to fight the loser of that fight. You beat the loser of that fight, and then whoever wins between the champion and Dustin Poirier, because I'm pretty sure that they're going to offer Dustin the winner of this fight, and I'm pretty sure Dustin's going to take it. All right, then you can talk. But until then, dude, just chill. All right, chill. Put some ice on that. Get your MRI scan, check up on your CTE. And just be cool, man. All right.
All right. Hey, talking about somebody who's just talking and needs to be cool. Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield. We thought that trilogy was going to happen. After the Roy Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson fight, Evander Holyfield raised his hand, and we were all like, "Ooh, maybe we get that three match." Not the rematch, it's the three match. And unfortunately, it seems like Evander Holyfield's camp is saying that they just wasted their time because Mike Tyson pulled out. And so they were trying to offer him a guaranteed $25 million to fight Evander Holyfield. And unfortunately, Mike Tyson's not having it. So I don't know where it is, but it looks like we will not see a Tyson Holyfield 3. And maybe that's for the better.
Yeah, I think Holyfield dodged that bullet for real. And he's just trying to, rattle his saber like, yeah, man, I was there for it. I was there. No, you weren't. You weren't there for that. Okay. I think this shows the true wisdom of Mike Tyson, the evolved wise man, Mike Tyson, saying that if I fight this man, I might slip into a demon that I might not want to get back out of. So let me say no. Okay.
You see, I was going to fight Evander.
Stop it.
I was going to fight Evander, and then I thought, it still causes me, flashbacks to the time that I fought him before, and I bit his ear. And the thing is, you never want to taste human flesh, because when you take human flesh, it becomes the something you get a taste for. And so my concern when I was thinking about fighting Evander Holyfield was that if I fight him again and I flip that switch, then perhaps that hunger that I have for human flesh will be the thing that will power me to fight Evander Holyfield, and I may end up taking a bigger chunk the next time. So that's why I said I'm going to save you the pain and embarrassment of being fought and being food for me, because I'm the king of the jungle. So that's all I'm saying.
The views expressed on this podcast does not necessarily reflect John Keys or his conspiracy theories. Please, Mr. Tyson, do not come for me. It is Mr. Ryan Smith. All right, I promise you.
Come find. Hey,
it's that man over there. Okay, it's that man over there.
Come find me in Denver. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, he trains at Factory X. Okay, under the alias
Kelechi Onyebuchi. Come find me, Kelechi Onyebuchi. That's who I am.
Oh my goodness. Oh God, what happens if he actually did that? What if he actually did that? Oh my God.
Oh, it'd be a great story. It'd be a great story.
Moving on.
Story. All right. So let's go ahead and move into our final segment of the night. And this is the fight card. All right, this weekend we have a pay-per-view UFC 260 Miocic versus Ngannou 2, Saturday, March 27th, 2021 at the Apex Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now, we were supposed to have 5 fights on the card, but the co-main event of the evening, Alexander Volkanovski versus Brian Ortega, is canceled because Alexander Volkanovski got the vid.
He got the Rona. He got KO'd by the Rona.
Came in and got the Rona.
Yeah, and it's crazy. It's crazy that how he said he tested positive. He tested negative on the flight. He tested negative before going into the bubble, but he tested positive after getting in the bubble. And that's weird. But what was crazier in this was that Brian Ortega put out a video. He's like, man, I heard what happened. I know you're a warrior. You would fight with it. I would be down to do that too. And I'm thinking, dude, okay, no, you're not supposed to fight while no, man. I told y'all, it's that Gracie mentality. They'll fight anywhere, anytime, under any conditions. So yes, if they were to I say let them fight anyway. Okay, they just put them in a room by themselves, and just put like Herb Dean in like a like a hazmat suit, and just let it happen, man.
Okay,
Just let it
first of all, this is one of those statements that you can easily say because it's never going to be tested. No one's ever going to make you fight somebody with coronavirus, right? That's not going to happen. So, yeah, I would say it too. Hey, you know what? Francis Ngannou, if you come down with coronavirus, I would still fight you. Yeah, I would still do it, but you can't because you got the Rona. So I'm sorry, but I was down to do it if you were going to do it. It's easy to say because you ain't ever going to be tested.
If it was anybody else but a Gracie fighter, I'd be like, you're absolutely right. This is a Gracie fighter. If I tell you once, I will tell it to you. And there are too many examples out there of these Gracie fighters has this inbred, not
inbred, you got it.
Yeah, embedded. To me, hey, I've been yelling at the Confederacy far too long. But it's the embedded mentality that they are going to die on their sword. They're going to die on their shield, doing what they do best, which is beating people. And there's nothing. They have a warrior's mentality I can respect and I admire. But I'm like, dude, calm your jets, okay? Calm yourself down, okay? Go meditate.
I don't know that I classify that as a warrior mentality. Choosing to fight losing battles. Like, I don't know. That's not a.
Hold on. Stop. Spartans did that. They fought a losing battle. The Battle of Thermopylae.
Well, the Thermopylae was not a losing battle. Remember, the reason why they lost was not because they were outnumbered. It was they lost because the person that they had. I forgot the name of the person who did it, showed the Persians the back way through the pass, and that's why they lost. It wasn't a losing battle because even though they were up against immeasurable odds, they still won. We got now we're getting all into history, and I wish my friend from Manchester was here, Paul Durham. If you hear this, I'm shouting you out. English longbows versus being outnumbered by the French. And what happened? The smaller force defeated the much, much larger force. So it's not necessarily like, oh, well, because the Persians were outnumbered, they were fighting a losing battle. They only lost because they were betrayed.
Okay. All right. We'll leave it at that because this is a combat history talk. Combat sports talk.
But we digress. So yes. Alexander Volkanovski and Brian Ortega are going to have to be rebooked on another card. Perhaps they'll end up some here in Houston, and we'll get to, maybe we can convince them to come up and see us in Dallas.
And nevertheless, both Ortega said that he is willing to wait for him. He is going to stay sharp. He's going to stay in training until that fight happens. So hats off on Brian Ortega being the G that he is, that's willing to wait for that fight. And I hope when the fight goes down, it does. And when it does happen, not if it happens, but when it does happen, that y'all both give us the fight that we have been looking for all year.
Yep. But let me say it like this. Even though Alexander Volkanovski has COVID, I would still interview him. If it was still, I would still interview him if I had the opportunity to do so. Because I go out on my microphone like a real true hardcore podcaster.
Like, so you're going out on your
microphone,
like Dick Vitale.
I'm going out on my mixer. Going out on my mixer. Yeah, baby. All right, let's go into the fights that are actually going to happen on Saturday night. We have 4 fights on the card. You and I are going to pick 3 of the 4. Jamie Malarkey versus Kama Worthy. We're not going to pick that fight. Okay. I don't know a whole lot about those other 2 fighters, but I do know the next card, and that is Sean O'Malley. Sugar Sean O'Malley coming in against Thomas Almeida. Who you have? John Keys.
Man, I'm going to go ahead and go with Sugar Sean. I like his style. His fighting presence is there. His striking's out of control. I look for him to dominate. Okay, he's came in there. He's told them, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to beat him. I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to walk out. That's what he does, and I expect him to continue that same technique.
Okay, so Lepidolite, he's on the O'Malley hype train. As much as I like Thomas Almeida, I don't think he's going to get it done. So I'm going with Sean O'Malley as well. In the next fight of the night, this is now the co-main event. You've got the chosen one, Tyron Woodley versus Vicente Luque.
Man, I'm gonna pick Luque. I'm gonna say it just because it's nothing against Tyron Woodley, but unless Tyron Woodley changes up his striking habits and actually starts putting punches and bunches, Luque, his striking technique is too good. Yeah, Woodley, you're gonna have to evolve or die. All right,
this is it. This is win or go home for Tyron Woodley, and perhaps if he doesn't win in convincing fashion, he may still be on that 60. So it's going to be one of those things where there's a lot of pressure on Tyron Woodley to perform, and he's got to win this. He's got to win this fight if he wants to stay fighting in the UFC. I just can't imagine that a person who has been the champion and then just fallen down the ladder, if he loses to Vicente Luque, who is a game opponent. It's not like it's one of those things where it's like if you lose to Vicente, you suck. No, but you can't sustain that many losses and be at odds with Dana White and have the relationship you have with the UFC and stay in that promotion. So I think that if Tyron Woodley loses the fight, like all of us are predicting, because I picked Vicente Luque as well, Tyron Woodley may not be with the UFC for very much longer.
I agree with that. So Tyron, prove us wrong, please.
That's right. We will eat crow like we did for Derek Brunson if you can prove us wrong. But I don't think you will. Please prove us wrong. In the main event of the evening, the greatest heavyweight champion in the UFC history returns to the octagon to face off against Francis Ngannou. I'm talking about Stipe Miocic, the firefighter. It's going to go back into harm's way against the Predator, Francis Ngannou. Who do you have?
First of all, no truer words have ever been spoken. Okay, that he is going into harm's way in the arms of the Predator. God, their last fight he won, and he grounded him and he made him miserable. Do we say? And they said, and these fighters have, and let's put it out there, both fighters has evolved since their last encounter. So are we going to see a repeat of what happens again? I don't think so. I'm going to give it to Ngannou, because I think his striking has gotten faster, his discipline has gotten better, and hopefully he's learned some wrestling defense since the last time he fought him. So I'm going with Ngannou.
You know what? I am risk averse, and I'm going to go with the guy that I'm going to dance with the person that brought me, or whatever. I blew that one, but dance with your partner, or dance with the one that brought you, right, or whatever it's called. Stipe Miocic.
We know what you meant. And that's not a bad pick, because I was.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Stipe Miocic, he's taken Francis Ngannou's punch. Like, in that first fight, he ate a bunch of Ngannou punches. Dude came off having to wear sunglasses at the post-fight press conference because he ate so many punches from Francis Ngannou, and the dude survived. Francis Ngannou has a lot of muscle. That guy is muscle bound, and all you have to do is survive round 1 and round 2. Granted, all you have to do is as big as the word if. If you can survive round 1 and round 2, then you got a shot. But at the same time, Stipe Miocic did, and so therefore, once those muscles fill up with blood, once the lactic acid fermentation starts, then Francis Ngannou is human again. And when he is human, then you can work that, and you can get him in round 3, you can get him in round 4, you can get him in round 5. Let us not forget that it has been 2 years since Francis Ngannou has fought in a 5-round fight that has gone longer than a couple of seconds. This dude has not actually been in a war since the last time he fought Stipe Miocic. So therefore, you got somebody in Stipe Miocic who went toe-to-toe with Daniel Cormier, arguably one of the great great heavyweights of all time in the UFC. He's fought everybody from Junior Dos Santos to, just the who's who of heavyweights. And you have Francis Ngannou, who can't make a fight last longer than 2 minutes.
But that's because he's killing people.
He's killing human people. But Stipe Miocic is the greatest heavyweight champion of all time in the UFC. So therefore, he's not just human. He's the greatest. He's got the most title defenses. At like 4.
And we're not laughing at that, because that just tells you how much power is sitting in the heavyweight division, because literally it can change overnight. All right, from fight to fight, it can change because these guys are so powerful with their punches. So, and I mean, we got, and that goes to show that if a person comes in with a different type of skill set, like wrestling, that they can change the whole game, which is why everybody is waiting to see what does John Jones brings to the heavyweight division. Okay, does he come into the heavyweight division, and does he evolve it? I think he will.
All right. Well, you are currently. No, it's not a drink. I just wanted to play the music because I was anticipating you going to John Jones, but you didn't. You didn't say the 2-letter initials that would have required a drink. So therefore, you are safe.
That's because he got a new girlfriend named Israel Adesanya. So
Lapidolite also picked Stipe Miocic, which I think is a wise choice. So John, you stand to be able to serve up a dish of cold Black Crow if Ngannou is crowned champion and new.
I'm just saying, this is one of those fights that I'm not going to be mad either way. Okay, if I win or if I lose, because either way, we're going to have either a really great fight or we're going to have a very quick fight.
Well, we will see. We will see. Follow us on social media. On Instagram, I'm at Combat Sports Talk.
And I'm at Keys to Victory, and that's Keys with an ES.
All right, you can find us on our website at www.combatsportstalk.com. And we are on all of your favorite podcasting networks. There you go. Even though we know Periscope is getting ready to go away. So
really?
Periscope is going away. So we'll have to update that. Here's something that I want you guys to be aware of is that we are going to be making some changes to the show. We want to take this show to the next level. We want to get this show bigger, better, badder, and out there for people to enjoy. And so therefore, we are going to be going into caucus, if you will. We are going to start working on in our workshop to improve the show. So if you've got recommendations of what you would like to see on Combat Sports Talk, let us know. Send us an email from our website. Hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Twitter. I'm MMA Podcaster on Twitter. And let us know what you would like to see us do here on the show. Segments you'd like to see us add, something like that. Let us know. I want to send a shout out to MMA Junkie, MMA Fighting, MMA Mania, Bloody Elbow, and the Intelligent Defense Discussion Group, because that's the sites that contribute the contents to our show and where the debates begin. On behalf of John Keys, my name is Kelechi Onyebuchi.
Whoa!
That's right. Just in case Mike Tyson is listening, I want to make sure that he knows that this is Kelechi that's making fun of his voice. No, in all seriousness, my name is Ryan Smith, reminding you to keep your hands up, your chin tucked, and throw bombs. We'll catch you next time.